Running a sub 4-minute mile was once deemed physically impossible. It requires a pace of 2:29 per kilometre. That's 24 kilometres an hour or 15 miles an hour. Very few people have achieved this elusive goal. In fact, to put it in perspective, more than 3 times as many people have summited Everest than run a sub 4-minute mile. So what makes it so tough? And can I run one? In 1954, Roger Bannister did the impossible, clocking an eye-watering 3:59.4 over the mile. The sub 4-minute mile is in fact physically possible, but 70 years on, and only around 1,800 people have actually managed this incredible feat, which really, in the grand scheme of things, is very few. I mean, it's basically a 15-second 100-metre sprint 16 times over. Some of the best runners in the world have yet to actually run a sub 4-minute mile, partly because they've never specifically trained for it. But even if they had, it's not a given. I mean, the physiological demands are quite unique and brutal. Now, to run a sub 4-minute mile requires you to run 60 seconds per 400-metre lap of an athletics track. Now, to put that into context, for an intermediate runner running all out, maximum effort, on average, they'll run around 71 seconds for a lap, let alone 4 laps back to back. It really is an insane turn of pace. Now, the mile event is considered a 50% aerobic and 50% anaerobic activity. When your body goes from this aerobic to anaerobic state, your body will start to fatigue with this onset of lactic acid, a rather disgusting sensation, which actually happens very early on in the mile. You just have to deal with it as long as possible. It's also likely no surprise that to run a sub 4-minute mile, you require a rather high VO2 max, research suggesting a VO2 in the 70s. It's probably no surprise that I do not have a VO2 max in the 70s, nor have I spent months or years diligently training for this, so I won't be running a sub 4-minute mile anytime soon. Or will I? Welcome to the Tumble in Wales, with 1 mile of nicely paved tarmac and, most importantly, downhill. Oh yes, I'm about to attempt a sub 4-minute mile downhill. Some of you might remember actually a few years ago, I did try this along with Sam. We'll say yes to any ridiculous challenge at short notice. Picta. We got close, but we did fail, which I partly blame on the hill choice. Well, we're back for round 2 with Sam. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Mark, I'm not feeling any fitter, but, well, we've got a bigger hill, so what more can we do?
Exactly, and the weather is markedly better. The hill is a 10% average gradient, which I'm hopeful is better. And also, most notably, we don't have 200 metres of flat running at the start. I think we got this, mate.
No problem.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
We did it! We bloody did it!
I went off way too hard though.
I didn't think that was possible.
All right, so you guys know that we have gone sub 4 minutes. Now for the time reveal. What did you go, Sam?
Yeah, so I'm pleased to say I ran a 3:43.
I was just slightly ahead, 3:37. Flip, it was hard, wasn't it?
It hurt a lot more than I thought it was going to. Like, I remember warming up at the beginning, I thought 4 minutes, how bad can it be? Like, we're usually used to running a lot further and probably don't give credit enough to the people running for 4 minutes.
I probably didn't make it easy for myself either by going off so damn hard.
No, so I was looking at the splits and you started, well, we both started with, we were running 2:02 per kilometre pace.
I actually didn't even realise my body could go that quick.
It was about 12.5 seconds for 100 metres for the first 400 metres.
And I felt that about 500 metres in and was watching every 100 metres go by. It was so painful. Now, what is also nuts, I mean, this is just such an insane turn of speed. It's hard to wrap my head around. The actual world record sits at 3:43, the time you did today. set by Hicham El Grou back in 1999. That's 2:19 per kilometre on the flat. Also, what is quite interesting is that a month after Roger Bannister breaking that 4-minute mile, Diane Leather became the first woman to run a sub 5-minute mile, which is kind of a moment in athletics history which isn't really noted very well, partly due to the fact that it was deemed unhealthy for women to run around that time, which is kind of mad, but I'd imagine it would have inspired a lot of women. Now the women's world record sits at 4:07, set by Faith Kipyegon, which is mad.
Seriously impressive. And I mean, while it did really hurt, I don't know if I mentioned it, really did hurt, legs and lungs, I'm still coughing now. I do see the appeal. 4 laps of the track, the simplicity of it is you just have to hit 60 seconds per lap. I say just 60 seconds per lap is incredibly hard. But yeah, you against the clock and go as hard as you can and see where you end up.
Yeah. It's absolutely nuts, that pace. And we've done it. We did our downhill mile. We broke that 4 minutes. I guess all let's do now, Sam, is summit Everest.
I reckon we could do that. How hard could that be? Everest?